The UPX Podcast with the property experts. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host too stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland property experts, baby, UPX.
What's going on, fellow Uplanders, and welcome to episode 165 of the Upland Property Experts. I am your host, Too Stupid to Win, and ThankMeLater will be joining me any minute. I gave him a mission right before the start of the show, and he was having fun trying to do that, lost track of time. So we'll get him in here. It's a brand new year. Welcome to 2023. It's not a hot start for Upland, and we'll dive into that today about just the issues going on and our thoughts and theories behind it. We did reach out to the Upland team for comments and did not get any, but we'll see. And to be fair, we did reach out. I reached out.
How long have I been on? I was like making weird faces.
Yeah. While you were making weird faces, you were on. But
Nice.
I did reach out to about an hour to the show to see if there was any comments on some of the things. So I didn't give him much prep time either. So I'm not going to bash him for that. But we do have the market update for you. And then we'll jump into why it has not been such a hot start for Upland in 2023. How you doing? Thank me later.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Sorry to distract you with. I really wanted to it was probably 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes ago. I'm like, hey, can anybody create the Homer Simpson gif backing into the bush but have a Miles head on it? That's what I was really looking for tonight's episode, just so it could just, as we talked about stuff, I could throw it up on the screen. And ThankMeLater said, I might not have the tools, but I'm going to try.
I feel like I'm close.
So want it. I mean, if they mess up again, we can use it. Uh-oh.
I'm working on it.
We got some gangsters in the house.
Some gangsters in the house.
Yep. What up, High Park Ninjas? KO. Yep. So hopefully everybody had some safe holidays. A short week between the last time you saw us. So excited for that.
Indeed.
You're still messing, and I should just go on, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. We'll jump right into this. I think the quickest we ever got into the market update. So top 10 city floors, looking at it over the past week. Actually pretty green, starting out the new year on a positive foot, with the exception of Oakland dropping 19.2% on the US dollar floor price over there, down to $4.25. Santa Clara kind of came back down to earth on the UPX, their UPX floor down to 37,500, down to 11.76%. But other than that, Manhattan's approaching 80,000 UPX again. Arlington up 18% to 11,800 on that floor. Nice. There's still more Arlington to be released, though. That's just a false. I hope a lot of people aren't buying the secondary. Good for the people that are selling at that price. I feel bad for the people buying at that price.
Right.
But it could change in the future. A couple of years down the road, you can be at a 2x or 1.5x of the initial price. But that also depends on the cheapest property markup that we do talk about later. 30-day change. I like to see that. That's a lot of green on the UPX floor price percentage change over the last 30 days. We're trending in a good direction. Last week you said hopefully we were at the bottom and we'll start seeing some trends up. And over the last 30 days, going back to December 8th, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's good. That's a good trend for everybody, I think.
Yeah. Your US dollar floor price, it's about 50-50 split. But the only one that's down big is Oakland, down 15%, down to $4.25 from $5. Everybody else, it's not bad for 30 days. And then the 12-week change, once again, we got some good green on the UPX floor. Your US dollars floor, though, is pretty red. So Manhattan down 21%, Oakland down 22.73%. But on the plus side, I do find that interesting. Oakland's UPX is up 10.5%, but down 22% on US dollars.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas, 12 weeks ago was at $4.30. Right now, their US dollar floor is at $5.74. That's a nice 33.49% gain. So that's a positive sign.
I'll take it.
And the 6-month change to the top 10 city floors. Hey, how we going? You want to see Nate?
Who's Nate? What up?
6-month change. Not as pretty as the other stats there. San Francisco down 21.94%. UPX Manhattan down 16%. It's even worse if you look at the US dollar side. Oakland's down 46.8% on the US dollar floor, down from $7.99 to $4.25. That's your biggest one there, followed up by San Francisco and Manhattan. Manhattan's down 36.94% and San Francisco 34.89. So not good overall on the US dollar floor, but it does make sense looking back to where we were 6 months ago, what happened since then. And, people are trying to liquidate things to get that extra cash to cover expenses or things of that nature.
Yeah. I mean, there has been a lot to spend on, so.
That's true too. Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to export it now.
I'm excited for this.
I mean, it's janky. It's super, super janky. I'll work on it more. I just had to get it.
Yeah. So here is the lowest markup percentage floor in the top 10 cities in Upland. Not the top 10 cities in Upland. We got to work on this. I work with Just Justin. Shout out to Just Justin for always putting the data together for us each and every week and putting these slides together. Did a lot of automation on the spreadsheet, so that's great. So we'll get this lined up. But Rutherford jumped from 333% last week up to 400% for the cheapest markup or the lowest markup percentage. Rutherford.
I hate Rutherford.
We know. Fresno's down 31% and Staten Island is down 35%. And Bakerfield's down 27%.
Check your Discord.
Check the Discord. All right. I'll take it.
Hey, you asked. That is what you.
I did. Hey, for the time that I gave you, that is great.
Right? I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I mean, I did that in like 10 minutes. I'm sure somebody would be like, "Oh, I could have done way better." Because, like, I know I could probably clip out the blue behind him, and I could do some other things for sure. But I mean, and then you'd be surprised. His stupid face stays in there so long. So then I had to like keep it there because his nose and everything. It's annoying. Anyway.
All right. There we go. Back to it. Still use it. I still like it. Cheapest property markup by city. Got a little work to do on there, but still 2,000%. Rutherford 7,000%, 7,483%. That's just absolutely insane. Deals in San Francisco on their UPX floor, 7.14%. Do you find that a deal or not a deal?
No deal.
No deal. Okay.
No deal.
I'm surprised that the Porto UPX floor is 677%.
Yeah.
Ooh. High Park Ninja says Rutherford sucks, but I did pick up some Bills legits this week. Had to pick up my man Hamlin. Yeah. Wow. If you guys didn't follow that and you don't follow sports, but it's all in the news, so everybody had to hear about DeMar Hamlin. But the update on him, he's looking good. He's awake. He's responding. That's just crazy. Just what happened on Monday night's football game. And the awesome thing is how, so many people have contributed to his fundraiser that he started when he was a player at the University of Pittsburgh to provide toys for the needy kids of his neighborhood. He grew up in a very bad part of the area around Pittsburgh. It's very poor, very crime ridden, and he's been doing a lot in the community. They've raised over $7 million now, almost $7.5 million. So that's pretty awesome there. And glad that the young man is making a strong recovery.
I wonder how many essentials were sold.
I don't know.
Because it goes in batches of 100.
Right.
I could probably go just take a look. But yeah, super, super sad. Although, shout out to my hometown Cincinnati for taking care of him. They did. They changed all their lights and stuff to blue and red. Like everybody's been super, super supportive. So
yeah,
that made me happy to see my hometown.
Cincinnati was awesome. They're the only level 1 trauma unit in the region, so at least he was in the right spot with the right people to help him. And then it was pretty cool. All 32 NFL teams changed their Twitter profile pictures to pray for number 3. And it was a nice, a nice come together for, the football fans over here in America. And it was pretty awesome. The bottom 5 city floors in Upland, Detroit, Rio, Chicago, Queens, and Cleveland. UPX floor prices. So you did get comments that you didn't know that $3 was an artificial floor for US dollar. Upland kind of limits the floor at $3 there.
Oh, that's the minimum?
Yeah.
Ah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, not like a ridiculous amount. I mean, all of the bills have a lot, like in the 300s. His aren't like crazy high. 250s. Wait, what the heck? Why is there cap? There's 2 caps and a jersey. Wait, why are there two of everything he has?
I don't know.
That's weird. Oh wait, did he have 2 numbers?
Yes.
Oh, weird.
He was 31 last year, and this year he's 3.
They have both of his jersey numbers in the store.
Oh, or maybe it was in season that he changed. I didn't play that close to attention. What I do find interesting about the bottom 5 city floors here, though, to redirect, is Detroit and Rio are both under 5,000 UPX. It's nice that Detroit's out of the 3,000 UPX floor price, but then Chicago, Queens, and Cleveland are all 6,000 or greater.
Yeah. What was the comment on that?
No, I just find it interesting that the bottom 5 there's a gap, and between those.
I mean, yeah, but like Chicago, Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's a weird exception there, but like Chicago and Queens are pretty well established cities. I guess Cleveland's got a bit of a following too. I don't know why, but
don't get me started. Worst release ever in Upland. And then the ultra rares. Overpriced.
I know you're hella salty on those ultra rares.
I just only Cleveland ultra rares. Um, so here's the bottom 5 city floors in Upland compared to 6 months ago. Detroit's up 10.79%. Queens is up 7%, and Cleveland's down 21% on the UPX side of the house.
Ooh.
And if you look at the US dollar floor price, Cleveland's down 38.34% from $5.66 to $3.49. I guess we should find a way to find the markup percentages on these two and tie it into the same picture so we understand that too.
Sure.
Now
I'm curious. I wonder how low the floor would go if there wasn't a minimum.
Yeah.
I'm glad there is. Because then in theory, you should buy at $3 no matter what, because you can't sell lower than that.
Right.
Everyone can.
Upland's US dollar markup, the lowest markup. A little bit better. 3 cities have reached the 50% mark on their US dollar floor. But still, Chicago, Queens, Arlington, Oakland, Los Angeles, Nashville, and Kansas City, you can buy for 47% or less. Chicago is all the way down to 41%. Still, if you're getting into the game or you have available US dollars and want to invest more into the game, not buying these is the best option. Definitely look up at the markup percentage of this, but yeah, buying these are your best option.
Well,
buying these are your best option.
No.
Disagree.
Disagree.
You wouldn't buy a property for US dollars at 41% of mint. If you had extra cash.
Over anything else in the game?
Yeah.
No, that's not what I would spend my money on.
What would you spend your money on? Block Explorers. Cars.
No, I mean, yeah, Block Explorers for sure. But from a property perspective, I would be looking at unminted communities. Like 47% is, or 41% even on a random Chicago property is nice, but chances are it's going to be a janky property with minimal return that's never going to see higher than, a base percent return. Whereas if you go with I don't know, Hyde Park, LA, where it's not minted, but you have a massive community growing, I think that your potential uptick is more significant. So I think that this is an easy buy. If you don't want to do the research and you don't know anything about the community and whatever, then sure, throw your money at this. It's fair to say it's a safe, buy, but I don't think it's the best or most strategic buy by any chance.
But think about it. Even if you say you picked up this property in Chicago for 41%, you take your US dollars, you buy it, and so you get it at almost 1.59. You get it at 1.59x. And then even if you throw it in the Chicago collection, I think Chicago is a 1.2 or 1.15. Either way, you're adding another 15 to 20% on top of it. So you're almost approaching 2x on your earnings on that property.
Sure. What's 2x on 200 UPX a month? Who cares? Insignificant. Go join a community node where you have the potential to have your property be worth 5x one day. Or better yet, just have a property that's actually in a community that is doing stuff. Sure. Again, you can't go wrong really buying these because they're significantly under mint. This is people who are converting their UPX to USD. They're flipping their earnings, and this is how they're liquidating. Although that's not a great way to do it, actually. After looking at some things and talking, we could talk about it later, but that is a terrible way to liquidate. There's actually a way better way to liquidate.
Okay. I mean, right now, the cheapest property at 41% is a property that was bought for 97.58 UPX, and they're selling it for $4 right now. So yeah, I mean, your double earnings on that isn't the greatest. But then the next property is at 48%. You know, they bought it. The mint price was 25,924. The last price was 22,000 UPX, and they're selling it for $12.56. So I mean, you're still getting it off the mint price of 2x earnings, but still it's only about 26,000 UPX that you're earning your 14.7%. So I mean, you're still getting.
I mean, it's fine. It's just
It adds up if you find deals like this. That's all I'm saying.
sure. Again, I don't think you can go wrong with it, but like, and do enough of those to fill your collections, I guess. But you
Hy-
know, I think at a certain point you have to be more strategic than that.
yeah. Hyde Park Ninja says, seen a few props at 29% this week, but when you go to purchase them, they come up with an error. What's the deal with that? That is part of not the hottest start for Upland in 2023. That's what's up with that.
I assume it's just a frozen blockchain transaction.
We'll get into that here. The only city that moved this week, adding anything in the sold out arena, was Arlington. They moved up 1% to 63%. Everybody else, pretty stagnant.
Yeah.
Unminted properties still about 424,000 available. Real light, don't know if it's the holidays, don't know if people were just frustrated with the bugs or, yeah.
No, I would say it's more holiday stuff. It's interesting. I've spent the last couple of days. I've spent some time in like this new voice chat from it came from Analytic Lessons by Cafe Morgan. They have a new chat channel and server, and I've been in there. I was in there for a little bit over the holidays too, and yeah, some of the bug conversations were quite interesting. Shaq in the house. What up, Shaq?
All right. Here's the shameless plug.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So if you've been a long listener of the podcast, 301 Battery Street was my drunken buy years ago. And I thought it was the Federal Reserve in San Francisco, but it was the old Federal Reserve building. And Dizzy actually bought the actual Federal Reserve, which is a pretty cool building itself. Then you had the whole, hey, we released landmarks in New York, but San Francisco, we didn't designate anybody, so you had to vote on it. So a bunch of people hustled, got their landmark designations for the building, was able to get this selected, and they finally have the design for it, and it is currently being constructed. And I showed Dizzy and ThankMeLater earlier today, and ThankMeLater came up with the great idea of, if you stake, I'll let you run with this since it was your suggestion. I'm down with it and I'm ready to award it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Stake on it, and we'll raffle off some decor items for anybody who's staking on it, based on your number of total hours. So if you put like a half a spark on there, every 2 hours, you'll essentially get one entry. If you put a full spark on it, you'll get one entry an hour. If you put 5 spark on it, you'll get 5 entries per hour. And then, yeah, so throughout the time it's being built, we'll randomly select from that pool someone to win a decor item.
And that is
maybe some other fun stuff too. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the Test Tube statue and the OG Anvil. And then we might come up with some other stuff between now and then too.
Yeah. So start staking if you got. I mean, hell, you ain't making much on the exchange anymore. That's for darn.
No. Yeah.
What's
and
it
this
like?
Is
what, like 10 UPX per spark hour now?
it bounces between there and 12, but yeah.
No way. I was joking.
It depends.
I was joking. I thought it was like at 20. I thought I was being a jerk.
Oh, It bounced back up. It's been low because I was.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't buy Spark. I'm not buying Spark right now. So
Yeah.
Disney said, is that 8?
Sorry, but yeah, this is 14,500.
10.
Oh.
There's all your fingers. What?
Yeah, I'm double checking this.
Yeah,
Spark right now.
Upland. Yeah, no. Too Stupid was notorious early days of just getting drunk and using all of his kids' college funds to buy properties. It was fantastic. I think he's been put on a much shorter leash these past several months, but
I put myself on the shorter, the first year. So actually, you know what today is actually? Today is my 3-year anniversary in Upland, January 5th.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
I don't remember. Mine's like in the next week or two.
Yeah, I think you were like the 5th, somewhere like the 15th or the 12th or something like that. You weren't too far behind me.
Yeah.
Or the 11th.
Yeah, I don't know why January 11th was ringing a bell, but so funny.
Yeah, like right now.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
But now.
And we'll be approaching 3 years in June of the show.
Yep, that's how time works. That's correct.
That is how time works. Thanks. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Now, Upland has not done well over the last 2 weeks.
Says who?
It says everybody.
All complainers in Gen Chat. Okay.
Well, let's start off with the properties that were all of a sudden made available.
All right. That was a hot mess. I'll give you that. That was a hot mess. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell the people about it, because I don't know that everybody knows about that.
I mean, that was bad. So you got to love things being on the blockchain, because you have the people. Yep. This is definitely what went on here. And there's been no comment that I've heard from Upland on it. Some people saw on the blockchain that these properties were going to be unlocked at a certain time, and they went ahead and set alarms for it. Not really sure what was supposed to happen. I don't know if there was something that was supposed to execute to move these unlocking to a later date or whatever. But either way, they even asked the Upland team, like, hey, are these properties going to be released? What's going on? And they got information. They got a response that no, they're not going to be released. Those are going to be done later on. And then sure enough, when everybody's alarm clocks went off, Town Hall in Manhattan opened up, some international terminals at Los Angeles Airport opened up, some Marble Hill properties opened up, and people snatched them up right away.
So the question is, when you say things like that, do you think that the community managers of Upland lied to you and knew that it was going to unlock?
No.
Okay. So let's just get that very clear. The community managers, I can guarantee, gave the information that they had. And I am particularly, advantageous on this, because I actually had several go lives for one of my large clients for my day job over the holiday break. And so there was a lot of mirroring of and in this case, like, my project manager would be the equivalent of the community manager, in the sense that they have to interact with the client and take the heat when the developers mess something up. So for instance, when my project manager told the client, yeah, that integration will work on the first, don't worry about it. It'll pull all of your new user data over. That's what the developers told us. And then when that didn't happen, you can't throw your team under the bus and be like, well, they messed it up. Like, you have to eat it. Like, that's part of being the front line of the team, is you have to just go, yep, we messed it up or whatever, and just figure it out. But the reality is, almost certainly what happened in that case was there was supposed to be some sort of catch or job, because you can't modify that date if it's written in the contract, right? So you'd have to do some sort of catch statement that when they did unexpire, that it got moved into a private queue, or a new like expiration date or something got executed. Now, given the time that it actually executed, which I think was like the last time zone that was in 2023. So like it wasn't a standard central or Pacific time like they would normally do, or it wasn't even UTC. And honestly, like I can see the time zones getting messed up somewhere, or the code not executing correctly. It'd be really hard to test that as well, not in production. Like that's a difficult thing to test reliably. So,
Right.
because you're only going to have it happen at the time that it happens. You can run some other scenarios and like maybe make some fake items on the blockchain and do some stuff like that, but you can't test that outside of production. Honestly, like they could have, like if they really wanted to prevent it, they could have taken the entire system down for maintenance. Like that's honestly what they could have done. And probably in a scenario like that would have been a good backup to just take the system down when you knew that they were going to fall off the chain, just in case they didn't get caught, because 5 minutes of downtime at whatever in the morning that was wouldn't have impacted anybody drastically. And then they could have, seen that the catch didn't work and then manually implemented something. So if I was their tech lead, that's what I would have recommended. Obviously that didn't happen, and those properties went bye-bye. So that
Very
was
quickly.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. That's a missed opportunity, but what about, because there's one that I have other very strong opinions on in the other way. So what else you got?
Well, I'll just kind of give my thoughts on that too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely what we give and what people talk to the community managers about, they take it to the people that they talk to the dev teams and all that. And the intention wasn't to have this happen. And there could have been better pre-planning. You had a bunch of bugs before the new year. They had us under maintenance, and it went under maintenance a couple of times, which we haven't seen in a while. And then you had this issue. It was just, you're just like, dang, what's going on? And then one of the bigger things is they oversold the cars. How do you oversell the cars?
Okay, the oversell is definitely a fair thing. But I will say that there was a lot of commotion over the holiday of they started giving the cars out and then it stopped. Now, in hindsight, it might have stopped because they realized that the number that were left to give out and the number that they had, it didn't match up, or it could have been a code. Anyway, people were losing their minds. And okay, outside of the oversell issue, because that is a fair point, but that is not a high priority issue. Like people were like, where's the community managers? Why aren't people on this? Like people expect their cars. Like, calm down. Like you're going to get your car. No one's robbing you. Like it's a delay. Most people didn't even realize that, like, or expect it to be instant. And I can tell you, like, if the team is on holiday, the only reason they're coming off of holiday is for a priority 1 incident or a P2. Your SLA on something honestly like that, which would have been like a P3 or P4, it doesn't impact anybody. You'll get your car, like, and it's been a day. Like, calm down. I did not like the way that the community reacted to that. Now,
but wait. Okay. I agree the community reaction, but if you're saying that I'm going to sell you something and you're going to give me something, it's just like, aren't we at a point in Upland where you go, it's just going to, an in-app purchase. I'm going to buy this and I want it right away. We saw that the cars were in the MV Motor lot, so they were in the lot, they were already produced, they were there. So why wasn't, once a transaction was made, that, hey, here's your window, you hit purchase, why didn't you get the car right away? What's the delay? Because I know when they go to your shop or they go to my shop or any of the other outdoor decor shops, decor shops, they hit buy and they get it right away. So
well, it's first of all, it's not the same interface, right? You didn't go to the shop
true
and then do that. People's money is not on the line. There wasn't like, the only people who were like fussing about it were people who were resellers anyway. Like, no one, like, it's not like there was a big race that weekend that people didn't get to participate in. There isn't a ton you can do with it. No one missed out on anything. Like, the only people who are like, oh, well, you want to flip it. Like, that's it. You bought it because you're going to just sell it. Like, I don't care then. Like, you need to relax. I get it. Don't get me wrong. It's still an issue. Like, it should have been auto correct. That's fine. However, no, you should not pull a development team off of holiday because some people didn't get their cars yet. Like, doesn't impact anybody that much. Like, now the oversell is a completely different subject. But as far as the
before we hit the oversell,
go ahead.
Before we hit the oversell, then if you know that it's a holiday time and you're going to have a lot of your team off, why do anything in that time frame? Because you also have a lot of people on holiday. I mean, you got to have some sort of support behind it. If you know your staff's not going to be there, then don't do big things that could have the necessity to bring them back in or put a challenge to your game and your reputation.
I mean, no, because it doesn't work that way. Like, you're not going to not do something necessarily because of that. And again, fairly low risk situation, no impact. If anybody can tell me how they were actually damaged, besides maybe somebody not wanting to go through with a sale, which who cares then, because you didn't actually want the car, you just wanted money. And so I don't really feel bad for you at all. Like, if you were like, I really, I bought it, I was going to give it to my girlfriend for our anniversary or something, like maybe, like, what are you doing with it? You're going to park it. Maybe you do some fake races with it. Okay, that's fair. So you had to wait a couple extra days to do that? Like, that doesn't warrant a high priority issue. It's just not. Like, you can still play the rest of the game. You're still going to get the car when you get the car. Most people didn't even, like, it never said, like, it'll be instant. Most of the times when we buy cars, like, we've had to wait. Like, even regardless of if it was there or not. Like, the distribution of the cars has never been instant. And
right.
The distribution of buying things in those quick sales like that has never really been instant. And they're getting better now for sure with the essentials and the decorations and stuff. But again, it's not the end of the world. And the people who want to get money, like, that happens with the block explorers too. You know how long it takes to add to the chain? Like, you have to wait. You can wait. Everybody can just chill. Like, I couldn't deal with it. It was so much nonsense. Like, go be with your family. Why are you worried about this digital car that you're going to get in like 2 days? It makes no difference to your life if you get it now or in 2 days. Just relax.
And that's the point that I was driving to, is all the points you just made there. What was the overall impact to your game? And if somebody's going to buy it and they still want it, they're still going to buy it. You don't need it immediately. And now if you're trying, yeah. So I do get it. It's a lot of nonsense. Now I do, right there. They should probably provide a clarity. It sounded like when there's no communication, people are left to wonder. But it's been typical, as you said, it's been typical. You buy the cars, they show up a couple days later. And then JT, you're right too. If you're hurting for money in real life, you probably shouldn't be putting it into Upland.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, if you paid cash and then your cards were oversold, like, oh, well, that's different.
Yes. So Monty Craig says some folks pay cash and then the cars were oversold and they were not refunded the cash, but given their 20,000 UPX bonus.
Yeah,
Or
no, that's fair. They should have been fully refunded their money, however they paid. That's a completely fair complaint. And I would go to bat for you or anybody. If that happened, they had a list of the people. Like, get me a list. And you know what? I don't really have a lot of money myself. So depending on how many people it is, I will personally buy them back. You give me the UPX, we'll work it out. Like if somebody's really hurting for that money, like I will help out if there's people that happened to. So let me know, Monty, if you know somebody. We'll work something out.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a legit complaint right there.
that's
I get that.
100% legit. Like that's total crap. If I paid $120 for something and then you go, nah, you can't get it, but here's 140,000 UPX. No, give me my $120 back. Because even inside of Upland, that $120 is worth way more than 140 UPX. We just saw that with the USD under mint. Like I can do a whole lot more with that than I can with UPX. Like, no thanks.
Yeah. And I'll be interested.
Of course it happened to Elijah.
Does it always happen to Elijah?
Elijah's just like, he's like Charlie Brown, I feel like sometimes.
Oh man. Oh man. No, but that's, and one of the questions just to back up. So Upland opened up those properties and the people minted them. Do you think Upland's going to try to recover them through the portal and compensate back? Are they going to negotiate with the people, or it is what it is? And the people that have the knowledge of how to look at these things and identify these things and set the alarms and got them. It's just fair game.
I don't know about fair game. I would imagine Marble Hill, meh, not so much. Possibly the town hall. I would imagine there's a conversation there.
Yeah.
Possibly with the airports, but yeah, I don't know.
Because we've seen the Upland team negotiate with players when things have been accidentally minted before.
Yeah, no, I mean, it happens. And I mean, it's one of those things where technically they could just take it, by the way. Like,
yeah,
they can, they won't, and they shouldn't, because that would completely destroy the entire trust parameter of what they are building. But I think it's actually important to note that technically they can, but they don't, because that's not in the spirit of what everything about the blockchain is.
Yeah. And then did you see that MV Motors has 100 more Spark than they had lately?
No.
Yeah, so they went from 106 Spark to 206 Spark. Just interested of, did they purchase more from him, or did Upland give them more? Just interested of how that went.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I would imagine that it would work with like a compensation model of, yeah, okay, we were going to give you X amount for the UPX that you got. Instead, why don't we give you 100 more Spark or something? I would imagine there's some sort of negotiation like that.
Yeah. All right. So
like in MV Motors, is MV Motors a true third party?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember they started working with somebody else, right?
MV Motors had their own little NFT thing going on. I forget what MV Motors, they had a thing going on, and they had some pretty cool race cars going on. I don't know whatever happened with that project.
No, but I think
or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That's who they started working with, and then they ended up with MV Motors.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who they were originally working with that had like the interesting concept cars, and then it converted to MV Motors. And I don't know why, but MV Motors feels like it's an in-house almost. I guess we could Google it.
Yeah.
MV
So,
Motors.
what is the thing that's really bugs you?
What?
The thing that has been really bugging you that you've been delaying, that I've been delaying you. You haven't been delaying. I've been delaying you getting to. About everything that's going on in Upland. That it's not a great start to the new year for the Upland team.
Oh no, the only thing I didn't like when people were up in arms because they didn't even get their cars.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was silly. Huh. So there's like an MV Dash Motors, which is in not English, but that's like dirt bike and stuff. It looks like MV Motors is like when you Google MV Motors, the first thing that comes up is Upland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Metaverse Motors. MV Motors is Upland's very own car brand. So it's owned by Upland. It's not a third party.
Okay.
So they don't need to necessarily buy Spark. I'm sure just the way that they handle things, that behind the scenes, again, it was probably like an exchange of resources for it, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't think that they just gave MV Motors 100 extra Spark. Yeah, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Edon runs MV Motors.
okay.
Yeah. Sure, I guess. They should say the car. I do agree that they should just add a little disclaimer. Technically, they didn't have anything that said that they would be minted instantly. And again, like, if something had gone catastrophically wrong, if the cars were given out to the wrong people, let's say, or something crazy like that, all of the cars were just accidentally given to Abdullah. Like, they were just like, well, let's just cut out the middleman, just give them to Abdullah. Then I would have imagined somebody would have picked up the phone and been like, guys, you need to get out of bed, come address this. That would have been okay, that happened. A 2-day delay, a week delay in getting your car, not a priority. Like, if it was the weekend, I wouldn't expect somebody to answer that, like, let alone a holiday. Like, you got to put it into perspective.
Right.
Now, the oversell is a whole different thing, though, because that's absolutely nonsense. And 20,000 UPX is borderline insulting, in my opinion. I would have expected it to be at least 50,000. A 50%, like, compensate these people. Like, and it's not that many people, I don't think. I think it was like 20 or 24 people. Like, you guys messed up. That's a big mess up. Like, compensate adequately so that way people don't feel bad. That didn't even cover the cost of people who had like pre-purchased. So like myself, sometimes I will like somebody be like, oh, hey, I got in a queue for one. Do you want to buy it? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the UPX. I'm like, okay, I'll prepay it. Here's the UPX. And then if they didn't get it, I wouldn't even cover the recovery costs of sending back the UPX, because you would have lost 20% on your UPX at that point, which isn't on the 95,000 isn't even the 20,000. So, boo.
Yeah.
Speaking of adult, giving away 1 million UPX. 100%. This is how that conversation went, and I'm a big fan of Abdullah, and I appreciate the message. He won 1 million UPX from the FIFA thing,
right?
So I'm sure
and that's pretty cool that he's giving it away, though. So
yeah, no, it's super cool. But I'm just saying, like, that's what happened there, because he had 1,000 Spark last Spark week, but I was thinking, I was like, you know what? We should give away 2 million UPX.
Okay.
We should donate 2 million UPX to Upland and say, we want the little message from the UPX podcast. 2 million UPX. Take that, Abdullah. That's what I want our message to the community to say. No, that's me. And plus, Abdullah earns 1 million UPX in like
30 seconds.
Yeah, like.
You know his net worth is over 3 billion UPX now, right?
That doesn't include FIFA. That doesn't include Block Explorers. That doesn't include Spark. That doesn't include his buildings or date. Like it doesn't include anything else.
Correct.
Jesus.
Correct.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. What else you got?
What was that? You straight up zoned out in the middle of your podcast.
I did.
What else? How are we doing on time?
We got time.
I mean, I don't really have much, honestly. There's a lot going on in Upland overall, though. I'm curious. What do you think the next city is going to be?
Buenos Aires.
I think they're going to do a U.S. city first.
Really? Even though they said that they would release the capital city of the winning country of the World Cup?
Next, though, they didn't technically say that. They said that they would release the capital city of the winning cup. They didn't say that they would release it next.
That's true.
Because here's the thing is it takes time to map out a city. And I can't imagine that they just had Buenos Aires, like you were sitting there mapped up.
But they don't have it mapped up, and it's going to take them a while because we know how the challenge is with the international cities. But we've been sitting at over 400,000 mintable properties in Upland for a while now. So there's no need to release another U.S. city at the time. And there's not a challenge right now to look for an expansion.
His monthly earnings is more than my net worth. Yeah, I still think they will. I think that they'll release like a Miami or something. I think we'll see another East Coast.
I don't. I think that the next city that they will release will be Buenos Aires, and it will be like they've been doing with these city releases. They're going to release a couple of neighborhood. They'll do a stress test in a neighborhood or two, and then they'll release a section of the city with expansion coming. And then with it, and I think they have a huge supply of unminted properties. They do have a great supply of FSA properties. So they do have the time to, one, map the city of Buenos Aires, and then two, get the marketing program to go on behind it to start marketing in Argentina too. So there's a couple of things behind it that I think that it will be Buenos Aires just because of where we're at. And if they need to add more properties because all of a sudden there's an influx of players and there's buying, that they'll just provide an expansion in Dallas or Arlington.
Okay. I think they release Miami.
Okay.
I think that they do a small release because, like, again, like there hasn't been a U.S. release in a while.
There hasn't.
Dallas was the last one, and that was like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was a long time ago in Upland World. So like I can see them releasing again. I think it'll be the same formula. I think they got the right formula now with the stress test and then limited release and then expansions. I like that model a lot. It allows them much more granular control of how much availability is left without it looking like LA. Like LA is just painful to look at every single time, right? Like that should have been cut down. You know what would be really interesting? Could they take properties off the market? That doesn't make sense, I guess.
I don't think so.
That would be weird because you're obviously taking down the ones that nobody bought yet. Like that feels bad. So no, I guess they wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. But like it's hard to look at how much LA has left. You know what they haven't done also in a while is one of those minting contests.
No.
But I reckon that's just because it wouldn't even be fun with Abdullah in the game. Like it really wouldn't. Like we saw it with FIFA. Like he just like presses a little bit of gas and like he's just gonna win whatever he wants.
Yeah. So we did have Loyal Doyle on, and he's done his video saying that they won a car, and all the people that he got to throw their their FIFA stuff to him. And as soon as Abdullah even felt threatened by the littlest, he just went ham.
I don't think he felt threatened ever, even in the littlest. I think
No.
he's just like, really? Really? You think you're going to even come close? I'm going to flex my pinky. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna flex my pinky and crush your hopes and dreams of ever getting this stadium. Like, let's make it very clear you're not getting it. Like, no chance. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Shout out to Abdul, and honestly, shout out to Doyle for putting up the fight. True
Absolutely.
David versus Goliath. Unfortunately, this is not the Bible, and David got crushed like a little bug.
And when we started and he first started reaching out to everybody about it, he had under 100,000 fan score and he pushed up into the millions. So, I mean, that was a good rally by the community. And yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's super awesome. Plus, getting Mint one of that car is really cool. So
it is.
Congrats and well done. Like, I hope that there's another opportunity where maybe it's something that's more like the community has a bigger ability to kind of like influence that. That would definitely be fun. Like, I feel like, remember they did burglars versus curators way back?
Yes. That was fun.
So fun. Imagine, I think it would be cool, like, honestly, like David versus Goliath of like Abdullah, Dizzy. Who's the top three?
Oh, I just closed that out. Sotheby's, Dizzy. I think it's Sotheby's, Dizzy, and Abdullah.
Sotheby's? Good.
Hold on. I'll double check.
Yeah. So anyway, it'd be fun to see like the top 3 or top 5 net worth players versus everybody else in some sort of contest. Now that all the FIFA are pretty much worthless, I sold my FIFA to Abdullah. I mean, they are until they aren't. I mean, they made it pretty clear that the next major soccer event, which is, spoiler alert, going to be in Australia. So I fully expect Melbourne to be released this year. Or Sydney. No, I don't know why I keep saying Melbourne. I fully expect Sydney to be released this year, by the way. Probably before Buenos Aires. But
actually, Dizzy's number 5 in net worth.
Dizzy? You're 5?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Who are the...
So looking at Upland Optimizer, which is your boy. I'll share right now.
Shout out to Grom Brindle, the mad genius. Buster Worth.
Yeah.
Dude, he's still rocking it.
He's still rocking.
Good for him.
Sotheby's, Sanctum, and then Dizzy. Followed up by TMK twice and MM Lang.
MM Lang? Who the heck is that? Dude, there's a bunch of people that I haven't even seen before.
Yeah.
Wait, where am I?
Sucking.
Listen here, you ain't even in the top 100, so I don't want to hear it.
I'm not. You're number 29.
Dude, I'm in the top 30. I believe Buster Worth is deceased.
What?
Shaq, is that serious?
What? I'm going to reach out to Buster now.
I mean, I know his real name.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy. Wow.
I'm kind of speechless. I don't know what to say to that. And Jacqueline isn't the type of person to just say things for shock value. Like, if she says it, like they're...
yeah, that's interesting.
He disappeared from community and his properties went up for sale. Well, that just could mean that he's like leaving the game though, right? Like, that doesn't necessarily mean he died. Goodness gracious. He has not been seen for months.
He said he does listen to the podcast, so
I mean, unless he put Bluetooth in his coffin.
Bluetooth in the coffin. Wow.
He had surgery complications before disappearing. Holy crap.
Wow.
Well, that's sad if true.
Yes.
That's crazy. Somebody was literally just shocking in cafe if they had knew any Upland players who had passed away, because they were like wondering like what the logistics are on that. And I know that Upland very early on even said that they were putting in a like a next to kin, or what's that called when you like the person on your insurance that gets all your stuff.
Beneficiary,
like to be able to name a beneficiary for your account. But obviously I don't think that that's it. I think actually, you know who else is working on that stuff is was that our boy Stirs? I think Stirs was working on something like that.
Okay.
They were talking in cafe about wills today. Yeah, it's been kind of a hot. Oh, really? Lizette was talking about it? Oh.
Okay. Because I do know somebody that passed away that played Upland, so but there's no, there his
Did your
account's
friend
just there.
play?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think his wife knows, and I have no idea what his username or password was, but yeah.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
He didn't have much into Upland, but he played.
Sure. It's fair. Well, that solves the other thing, because somebody said, rumor has it if you play Upland, you're immortal, because they didn't know anybody who had played Upland and died. Well,
I do. One of my best friends. So there.
So, yep.
Downer to the end of the episode.
Wow, that
Death and destruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So it's a new year. What's going on with UPX World? Where are we at there?
Gosh, dude, it's about to go off. Big things coming for UPX World. If you're not involved yet, get involved. We are absolutely gonna just hit it hard in 2023. We have a newfound energy. Like, if you haven't listened to the last couple of streams, Monday I did a stream for the roadmap for UPX World, and yesterday I did a stream about what our mission is and how we are looking to completely disrupt the multi-billion-dollar gaming industry and change global wealth distribution through decentralized revenue streams. Like, this is not a small mission statement anymore. This isn't let's add some value to our Upland properties, which we're going to do, by the way. But no, this is big now. This is going to be, a global shift that we can leverage Web3 for true ownership. And it's going to be big.
Yeah. Living and Dying in Upland is a title. We had Living and Dying in LA as one of our show titles early last year. So it'll be close.
Yeah, no, we can't call it that. Too many people have died.
Yeah.
Plus the driver. Why did I just space on his name?
Ken, was it Ken Block?
Blocks?
Ken Block. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Block. Yeah. Man. Yeah, that was rough.
And Jeremy Reiner got ran over by his own snow thing, and
he survived.
He survived, yeah, but he's messed up.
Yeah, he is.
It's been crazy. But no, excited for UPX World, what you guys got going on. Now, did you see that Gala's making moves, Gala Games? We had those Fox guys on from Gala, but they're making moves. Apple's allowing NFTs now on their Apple store, and they just bought a mobile gaming company that has 20 million users. So we don't have all the details, but they put that out on their server. So interested to see what that's all about.
Yeah, we'll see. So I mean, again, if you listen to my stream from yesterday, I got to get it up on YouTube, but you can find it on Twitch. I just NFTs in gaming don't make a ton of sense to me. I know that sounds really weird, but like I don't consider Upland a game anymore. I consider Upland a gamified digital asset management system. Like it's really not a game. It's a gamified asset management system, which is super cool. Uh, but the problem with NFTs and games is the blockchain. It's too cumbersome. It's too much overhead. The true ownership, like you don't want every little thing tracked on the blockchain. It's way too much. Additionally, the number one thing that every game has that you really can't do with NFTs is balance, game balance, nerfs, and different things like that. You cannot mess with the power equations or the balance of a game if it's tied to NFTs so directly, because your economy will absolutely just go bonkers. And so there's just a lot of things that you really can't rely on the blockchain for. I see game in that sense.
Moonshine Phil says gamified asset management system. I see game in that sentence. So gotcha. Touche.
No.
You said you don't see it as a game, but then you used game in the description.
No, gamified. Like you can gamify an IT system. You can gamify a community. So for instance, the little awards and badges inside of Reddit, that is gamification. And so that does not mean that Reddit is a game. I mean, if it was, it would be the worst game ever. It's gamification. They're different things. It does not mean that you're a game. It means that you have elements that are similar to a game, such as rewards, levels, things that get people interested in engaging with your system. So that's all that means. It does not mean that you're actually a game. It just means that you have gamified utility or gamified like processes.
Thanks for breaking that down.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that helps.
Yeah, no, I mean it is important, because here's the thing: is like Upland doesn't view themselves as a game, and when you realize that, it makes you realize, like, and they don't consider themselves like I don't know. I wouldn't say that they consider themselves like an investment platform. I think that they want to be a digital asset management system.
Yeah, because if they go investment platform, then that's registration with the SEC and all that stuff too. So they don't want to deal with that.
Exactly. So, like, I see them as very much, and again, it's a huge need. And that's why I think layer 2 is so important, because layer 2 gets rid of a lot of that complication. Layer 2 does not have to worry about dealing with the blockchain, interacting with the blockchain. It can issue and change game mechanics without being the issuers of those NFTs. So the idea is you have your layer 1 and it's fairly stable. You're, as a layer 1 asset holder, you want that economy to be extremely stable and preferably growing in value. Every layer 2 that gets added on top of your layer 1 is going to continue to add value back to your base assets, which is what you want. Additionally, if there's, like, let's say there's 3 games that are all using, we'll just say block explorers, for instance, and all of a sudden in one of the games, they become completely overpowered. There's something wrong. And so, like, the value of them is artificially inflated because of that activity. You still have a balance of the other ones. And so when this game ultimately has to nerf them, right? So it has to nerf the power level. It doesn't decimate the value of those NFTs, because there's enough other things happening that the overall flux is balanced out among all of the layer 2s that are going on. Where if you have everything as layer 1 and all of a sudden you do something out of whack, your economy will just spike and follow that direction of, like, holy cow, these are really, really powerful. I must buy them all. And then as the gaming company of the layer 1, you either have to figure out how to work around that, or when you nerf it, you've now destroyed your economy and the confidence of all of the buyers to go, well, wait, you can just nerf anything at any time. Well, I don't want to be in your NFT project, where that is protected with the layer 2. That's why it's a great model. There's so many benefits to the way that Upland is doing it. They saw it way ahead of time. They've built it right, because they couldn't have come out 3.5 years ago and said, hey, we're going to have a digital asset management platform with some gamification. Don't worry, there's going to be a bunch of layer 2 stuff. There's going to be a bunch of third parties that are going to build for us later. But right now, just do this. Like, that didn't exist as a concept that was understandable by society at the time. And so they've had to ease us into it, which is how all major transformative technologies happen. I've seen it several times in the enterprise space, where a piece of software is sold into the industry under the guise of something similar to what everybody already knows. And then, oh, wait, it's a much bigger platform that has a much bigger end game. And now we already have a sticky community to support it. Like, it's how you do it. It's very, very smart of Upland the way they've rolled it out. So anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I could talk about it all day.
I know. You got anything else before we get out of here this week?
No, if you haven't checked it out, go check out 1111nft.gallery. There is a lot of good stuff for sale.
Got 5 more days to enter for this month.
And yeah, if you're an artist, do yourself a favor and enter. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And when it gets big, these first sets of art and artists are just going to be part of gaming history. It's going to be super cool.
Absolutely. Everybody be safe. Have fun. We'll see you in the metaverse. And ThankMeLater won the Fantasy Football League Upland's 3rd annual Fantasy Football League.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and ThankMeLater, bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland property experts, baby. UPX